So it's time to induct some more screwballs into the Hall of Fame. Screwball name will be first. Norbs, what do you got?
Well, George, you're gonna love this guy. His name is Bobby Estalella.
Oh, Estalella.
Your personal favorite, or one of your personal favorites.
Terrible.
Yeah, Bobby Estalella played 9 years for several major league teams from '96 to 2004. Began with the Phillies, then on to the Giants, Yankees, Rockies, D-backs, and the Blue Jays. And had a career .216 average with 48 home runs and 147 RBIs and 195
what was that?
hits.
216 average? Oh,
216 average, just
close to the Mendoza line.
16 points better than the Mendoza line, my friend there. Interestingly enough, he holds the distinction, listen to this, he holds the distinction of having hit the most home runs in Major League history by a player who has had fewer than 200 career hits. Can you imagine that, my friend?
What a Hall of Fame career for Bobby Estalella.
A stellar, mediocre career. He was decent hitter, hitting 195 hits and 147 RBIs. Estalella was also linked to the Balco steroid scandal.
Yes, I remember. He's testifying, I think, against Bonds or something.
Oh, my brother, testify.
And
he was named to the Mitchell Report in 2007, and yes, he did testify against Barry Bonds in 2009 of January in his federal perjury case. Interesting life that this man has had in and out of the game.
Yeah, for sure. I remember seeing him at the Blue Jays game. Somebody had a Bobby Estalella jersey, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, what? That would be the jersey victim of the century.
Mind blown, my friend.
On the guy that played, didn't he play 25 games or something with the Blue Jays?
Yeah, a handful of games. I don't even know.
That better have been his brother or his dad or somebody, but Jesus, holy moly. All right, are you ready for my screwball player name? This one is a doozy. This might be the greatest, dirtiest player name in the history of pro sports. You ready for the one, the only, Dick Hole?
Oh, woo! My gosh.
Former pitcher for the Boston Red Sox and Seattle Mariners. He only pitched about 6 years. None of them were good. But he used his name to his advantage, I guess. I mean, he actually was a top pitching prospect for Boston. I guess you could say he was high on the totem pole. Oh, my God, Lord, I kill myself. But you know
that was a dick move by the Red Sox there.
You know what the scariest thing about his name, though? Fenway Park, they named their foul pole Pesky's Pole. So, thank God this screwball of a name didn't have a pole named in his honor. Be called Dick's
Imagine
Pole.
That.
Can you imagine
being
called
a dick
Dick's
move
Pole?
by the Red Sox.
Oh, Lord Almighty. Oh, now let's get to this. We'll get to the screwball moment so we can stop talking about Dick's Pole or whatever. So, the screwball moment I got this week, everyone should remember in recent history, Jim Joyce screwing over Armando Galarraga in June of 2010. Detroit versus Cleveland. Can you believe this game? The guy was 1 out away from a perfect game. And then Jim Joyce called the runner safe on an infield hit. I mean,
heartbreaking.
He got out. So, I mean, they call it the imperfect game because he ended up getting 21 outs for perfect game. Armando didn't, I guess, rejoice after that call. He really had no emotion on his face at all. But, I mean, it was a bang-bang play. Nobody's perfect. But at the same time, Jim Joyce, I mean, could have just given him the call to give him the perfect game. But wouldn't that kind of take away from his integrity? I mean, as a ref or umpire, you're supposed to call it like you see it. So it was unfortunately, Joyce proved that we are all human. And honestly, I mean, it's just a game. His accomplishment for a perfect game isn't really important in the grand scheme of things. People make a lot of mistakes in life, bigger than calling a runner safe on a ground ball in a meaningless game. No one ever remembers now, aside from the umpire screwing up. But, I mean, managers' challenges didn't even happen until 2014, 4 years later after something like this happened. So, I mean, baseball seems to always get behind in these kind of things. Yeah, Jim Joyce ruining the perfect game and turning it into an imperfect one. Now, what do you got for us?
Oh, poor Jim Joyce and poor Armando Galarraga. He was never the same pitcher after that moment. But anyway, that's life in baseball.
Yeah.
So my screwball moment, as we've been talking about the infield fly rule. this is actually one of the worst infield fly calls in baseball history.
Oh, no.
And it happened in the 2012 Division Series between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, baby, I remember that.
Backstory, it was the bottom of the eighth with the Cards up 6-3 and 2 runners on for the Atlanta Braves. The Braves, Andrelton Simmons, who is now an LA Angel player, hit a fly ball that ended up in the left field of all places and drops in between outfielder Matt Holliday and shortstop Pete Kozma. Pete Kozma wasn't able to catch it, and left field umpire Sam Holbrook called it an infield fly rule and calls out Simmons on that play. Then the Braves manager Freddie Gonzalez runs to the field to argue, and the fans at Turner Field began to litter the park with so much debris, causing an 18-minute delay in the game. The Braves then played the rest of the game under protest. The following day, Joe Torre, who was the MLB executive vice president of baseball operations, denied the protest, citing that it was a judgment call which cannot be protested under MLB rules. What in God's name? Why was that not approved by MLB? That it was a mistake by Sam Holbrook, the major league umpire in that game. That was a pivotal moment in the Braves game because they were trailing 6-3, and they had 2 runners on, and Simmons was gonna get on base or bases loaded. I mean, that was a total game changer for the Cardinals. Ended up winning that wild card game. It wasn't the Division Series game. It was a wild card game. I realized. So, what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, it makes it even worse that they couldn't get out of that wild card game just to get into the real series. But yeah, I mean, I guess Pete Kozma was too good of an actor that Holbrook didn't believe that he dropped that ball. I mean, umpires again, they make case decisions sometimes. They're never held accountable for it. The MLB takes too long to look at those situations and make it change. So yeah, fortunately that sucks. But like they say, or as we say, it's just another screwball day and a screwball moment.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below.